Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the season finale of Doctor Who Reviews. I'm your host, Rain, as ever, and I have some bad news. Unfortunately, there's no Cat or FreezingInferno this week, so it's just me. It's just me doing the finale on my lonesome, but that's okay, because I'm sure I can handle it.
God!
Whoa, what the hell was that?
Hey, wow.
Hi, Jerry, you're alive.
My reports of my death were exaggerated. No, that frog blasted me in the next week and let me watch the new Doctor Who episode early.
Oh. You have my condolences.
Here I am. Where's Cat?
Not here, unfortunately.
Oh, did the frog get her too? The frog giveth and the frog taketh away?
I don't know if that's the frog's business or not, but it's just us two then, I guess.
Well then, who's to your virtual left?
You're preempting me, but to my virtual left, he escaped from the frog dimension and all he got was his lousy t-shirt. It's FreezingInferno.
All I got was this lousy t-shirt. No, all I got was this warmed-over mediocre episode. It's the battle of... hang on. The battle of Ranskoor and Kolos?
No. Ranskoor and Kolos.
Okay, so the Battle of Crab Rangoon.
It turns out we were pronouncing it wrong all this time. Because it's got some real special meaning, like disintegrator of bones or something like that.
If they called an episode Disintegrator of Bones, that'd be fucking metal.
That would be metal as hell, yes. Unfortunately, this was not that metal. In fact, there wasn't even a battle. We were bamboozled again.
Bamboozled by bamboo. And it's not even the fun kind of bamboozle when Stephen Moffat does it and says, oh no, here's this much more interesting story instead.
No, it's like, here's something that you thought was going to be okay, and here's something else that's going to be okay, I guess.
It's... Oh, God. You know what that reminds me of in a sense?
The Box Factory?
Lie the Land?
Oh.
In the way that it was like, hey, here's a cool regeneration that might happen. And instead, wow, it's fucking nothing.
I think this was a little better than Lie of the Land.
Yes. It's not. It isn't actively laughing at you for getting invested in it.
I apologize for sounding unenthused about this. I wanted to like this.
I don't apologize for sounding unenthused. This was pretty mediocre.
I really did. I really did want to like this one.
Here's the thing about the episode. Overall thoughts early on. It's not bad. It's not bad. It is a functional episode of television that didn't really make me get up and yell at my television or anything, or really offend me in any proper sensibility. But to that end, it didn't really thrill me either. It's just there.
I think the most damning indictment I can give it is when it was over, I went, oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, as I said, I really wanted to like this. It was the season finale. You know, we've had some really good episodes, despite what certain people might think. We've had some really good episodes in this series.
I mean,
none of them written by Chris Chibnall.
Exactly. This is the thing. If you want me to get into it, I don't know how you feel, but of this season, for me, we've had two great, unambiguously great episodes, and maybe a third in Rosa, but Rosa is just so, uncomfortable and tense to watch that it's good drama, but I don't know if it's like the kind of good fun television Doctor Who thing, but it's in a class of its own, let's say, right?
Yeah.
Then you have two, I'll call them good episodes, and I'll put Kerblam in here because it's very well made and it kept your interest, and I have issues with the ending, but you don't. So we can meet on both ends and say good with that, Kerblam. And to a lesser extent than that, there's The Witchfinders, which is good, but its ending is a little as we've discussed. But it's overall solid and good. So that's 5 great episodes. Like, I have to see 5 great to good episodes. None of them done by Chibnall.
Yeah, none of them written by the showrunner. Well, he co-wrote Rosa. He did co-write Rosa.
Okay, he had a little. Okay, he had a little bit. So what? So 4.5 of 5
Yeah,
great
but
things
this
not
is
touched by Chibnall.
This is the problem, isn't it? Because
He's the showrunner.
he's the showrunner, and yet all of the stories we've enjoyed the most were not written by him at all.
I mean, to an extent, this happened in the Moffat era. Like, you pick your Jamie Mathesons, your Sarah Dollards. They do really great stuff that I loved. Moffat, well, he did, for his credit, he did, for all that you can give him, to fault him, he gave us Heaven Sent and Hell Bent.
He gave us The World Enough in Time and The Doctor Falls.
Which are very good, yeah. Much better than this finale, anyway.
Yeah, he gave us Extremis, and that's where the metaphor kind of falls apart.
Well, Extremis is good. It's what came after that kind of, but
if you just take Extremis on its own, it's excellent. But yeah, it's what comes after it that kills it. But anyway.
Anyway,
here was the interesting thing about this this battle of Rangoon, whatever it was. There were no preview copies issued to the press.
Oh my!
At all.
Does this always happen with the Doctor Who finales, though?
Not always, no. And sometimes they issue copies to the press, but key scenes are removed or edited out. Key example of this would be Dark Water, where they removed the whole thing where it said, "Oh, I'm Missy, short for mistress," but also a scene in the middle where you can hear the 4 drum beats of the Master, and it's kind of obvious who she is. The famous one has to be when they were showing it to a family. They were showing Army of Ghosts to a family for something. They did a thing called the fear factor, and like the family would give each episode a fear factor of 5. And it gets to the bit where the void ship opens up, and then it says, this scene has been removed until broadcast, and the family started swearing at each other. It's great.
And, well, it didn't even really matter because it's so often put out. The goddamn trailer for Army of Ghosts had a Dalek extermination in it.
Yes, but if you didn't know about that, and I don't know if these fear factor things had previous to the next episode, it was still a fantastic surprise. And there was a surprise of a kind in this episode, and you're thinking, well, hang on a minute, they've kept everything under wraps. Something really big's about to happen. And then it's just Tim Shaw.
It's just Tim Shaw. Oh, God. Oh, okay. So, are we going into this? Are we going into Tim Shaw?
Yeah, I'll say one positive thing in favour of Tim Shaw returning. It gives this a plot arc. It gives it a story arc. It gives the series a story arc of a kind. It's not a very good story arc.
An attempt was made. You tried, Gold Star, but at least you tried, Kate, going in the bin. Okay, but yeah.
So there is a plot arc of a kind, and this could have been really interesting if they'd handled it better. The idea that the Doctor directly influencing what happens in the finale is a really good one. Problem is, we've done that already to much better effect.
Yeah, exactly. This is my issue with it, and we have done it before in better effect, and way back in 2005. You remember that episode, The Long Game? Where the Doctor, the Ninth Doctor, he did what the Doctor does, and he tore down a terrible society, people exploiting, the big pimple on the ceiling in Simon Pegg. He basically tore down that whole false society, corrupt society, destroyed it all, left it in ruins, and then swanned off. And it turned out that was a really bad thing to do, because from the ashes of that came a hellish dystopian game show world where people got turned into Daleks or some shit. So, okay. And it basically led to his death. He doomed himself in that story. And Elizabeth Sandifer on her blog pointed out that, you remember Christmas Invasion, the first David Tennant story? And don't you think she looks tired and all that?
Yeah.
That basically deposed Harriet Jones as prime minister, which let Mr. Saxon, the Master, become prime minister, which then fed into all that other shit with the end of time and all that. So, in a sense, you can have David Tennant dooming himself in this very first story. But here with Tim Shaw, what? Oh, 5 planets got shrunken down and everyone died on them, and Tim Shaw ruled these people for 3,400 years because the Doctor didn't kill Tim Shaw?
3,000, but yeah.
Like, I don't... where's the value judgment is not equivalent here.
No.
She didn't do anything, like, irresponsible with dealing with Tim Shaw. I would argue that she did what the Doctor usually does. It's like, oh, you can either swan off now and be fine, or you'll get a bad thing will happen. And the alien's like, no, Doctor, I'm going to be the winner, and he blows himself up.
Yeah.
So, who are we? What is this? I don't understand.
She does the right thing, but doing the right thing causes this.
So, are we meant to think that, oh, she should have killed Tim Shaw? I mean, I've been all about, oh, the Doctor needed to stop more people here. But if you wanted to do this arc of, oh, sometimes the Doctor doing this does a bad thing in the future, you could have picked, like, any goddamn villain that the Doctor failed to properly stop. You could have brought back Space Racist or Mr. Robertson. You could have done something like that.
The weird thing is that because there was nothing for them to go on, Clint Hassel had a preview of the episode. He couldn't do like a review preview because he hadn't seen it, and he suspected that maybe Kresko was going to come back. And no. The only other return apart from Tim Shaw are the goddamn sentry robots from the Ghost Monument.
Wait, that was for them?
I think so.
I just thought they were generic robots.
Well, because the Stenza installed them, didn't they, in the backstory to the Ghost Monument? Because we crowbarred that into the narrative for some reason. Oh, we're being forced to create these weapons of mass destruction for the Stenza. And then we don't mention them for 7 more episodes, and then suddenly, oh no, sorry, Tim Shaw's the big bad of the series.
Yeah. Like, at least with an RTD era arc, you kind of, like, Bad Wolf was better put together than that.
We didn't even get Stenza Invasion. That would have been interesting, at least.
And another thing that's wild is that the Earth is in peril at the end, which is kind of like a stake thing, except we don't know what goddamn time we're in. So it's like, what Earth is this? Is this Earth of 2018?
We do, actually, because the woman who fell to Earth was set in the present day, 2018, and it's 3,407 years later.
So it's the year 5425.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we don't get any sense of the Earth in 5425. It's just, oh no, that planet that we happen to live on. That's bad.
It's just to give some stakes and to give the Doctor a personal reason for taking down Tim Shaw and his plan.
God.
But she was going to take it down anyway because it's inherently bad. You didn't need... It's not like, oh, I can't do anything with these 5 planets. They're just lost now. But you threatened the Earth and now it's on, buddy.
Oh, boy.
No, she helps any planet. She's the Doctor. It's what she does.
Exactly. What she's supposed to do, anyway.
Yeah, what she's supposed to do. Fair enough. And we've had the stolen planets used to power an alien super weapon before in the Stolen Earth, but guess what? That was done a lot better as well.
Hey, we even got a reference to that in this one.
Did we?
Yeah, she said something along the lines of, oh, this TARDIS, it's towed the Earth back in place and turned this Levine into an egg.
Oh, yes.
So Stolen Earth and...
But stop short, funnily enough, of referencing the people that actually moved the planet, which was the Daleks.
Yeah.
Chibnall Strong and his cannot have any previous monsters even mentioned in my Doctor Who.
At least not until 2019, maybe.
Maybe. We don't know.
We don't fucking know.
That's another thing we're going to have to touch upon when we get to the next time, such as it is.
Next time! Oh, I'm the Doctor. I'm going to stop you.
Basically. But I wasn't opposed to... I wasn't fully opposed to the return of Tim Shaw, but what's his motive? Oh, you've stopped me in 2018 in Sheffield, and you've grievously injured me, and now I've discovered this alien race that can move things with their mind, and now I'm a god. What?
I'm bad. I'm bad.
Why has he suddenly gone from being a trophy hunter to a god?
I know.
Did the years of isolation turn him insane? Which would be an interesting thing, but, actually explore that. Give a hint. That's what you're getting at, Chibnall.
And how is he immortal now? Was that explained? I can't recall.
Stands the technology keeping him alive? Again, nothing is actually explained here.
God almighty. I mean, I know I love my ambiguity. At a certain point, there's ambiguity, and then there's not explaining things. Yeah. Ambiguity is when you explain half of it. Not explaining things is when you explain none of it.
Ambiguity is when you leave it up to the viewer's imagination, but in order to leave it up to the viewer's imagination, you have to give them something to go off.
Exactly.
And this doesn't.
This doesn't work.
I'm sorry. I know it sounds like we're completely shitting on this, and I don't even think it's the worst episode of the series. But it's supposed to be a series finale, for God's sakes.
Mm.
It just didn't feel like that.
Really didn't.
Apart from, Tim Shaw being back because he was the villain of the first episode, he's the villain of the last episode. Yeah, okay, that's something at least.
And now I'm hearing you, fuck.
Yes.
There's actually, I should mention, I didn't pick it up on viewing, but there is an article. I will find it after we're recording. I linked it in our chat. Where whoever the writer is, they argue that Tim Shaw is a giant mirror of the Doctor because he's got himself holed away in this big fortress thing. He's immortal now, and he's doing shit. I don't know the full reason for it, but an argument is made that I didn't even notice it. And you'd think that would excite me, but it really doesn't.
Yeah.
That's how mediocre this episode is. Yeah. Mirror imagery isn't enough to get me invested in it.
Let's move away for a moment from mediocre blue aliens and try to talk about some of the more positive aspects of this story. Because there were some. I thought Jodie Whittaker did well once again.
Oh, yeah. Jodie Whittaker's good.
She is presented with a dilemma in this episode.
Cool.
But it's not the one you were expecting, like, I've caused this and how can I rectify it? Mm-hmm. I mean, funny enough, she doesn't even really touch on that at all.
No.
There's a bit of, how can he possibly be here? How can this possibly be his home planet? I sent him to his home planet. And what's the explanation for that? That the teleportation was corrupted and he crash lands on Ranskoor instead.
I guess.
I mean, I thought what they were going to do it on first viewing was that, wait a minute. So Ranskoor is the Stensis home planet, but it's been completely transformed? That would have been, again, interesting.
And there was another rumor that this was Desolation, the planet from the Ghost Monument, before it got fucked up.
Yeah.
And that the Doctor would have to, preserve time and not save it in order to make that other adventure she had happen.
I can see that. Yeah.
Which, people assuming that the episode is going to, go places.
Yeah. Oh, I miss when episodes go places. It Takes You Away was only a week and a half ago. God damn it.
God, that went gonzo. And where did this go?
Bland.
Yeah.
Blandville.
Bland.
What else can I talk about? Well, it's not really a positive again. Again, Ryan and Yaz, but particularly Yaz, are shunted off to the sidelines.
I want to stress again, like you said, this is not a shitty episode of Doctor Who. But the good things are just that it's competent.
Yeah.
That's really all there is to praise about it.
I don't think it's a shitty episode, but it may be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
I don't know. I mean, for all we've been bitching, I've been bitching this review season, the ratings have gone up since the Capaldi era, so they're doing something right.
But as I said before, I think in one of the first two podcasts that we did, is that a part of that is just the curiosity of the Doctor now being female and the different dynamic going from one companion to 3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that did give me a lot of goodwill to it. I mean, Chibnall, I was like, that's kind of mediocre. And I was right to think so.
I mean, if you like this finale, and I know for a fact that Kat actually said that she did like this finale, that doesn't make you wrong.
It's okay.
We had to find it just okay, but you might think it was really good. And if you think it was really good, more power to you.
I disagree, but more power to you. Which is a step down from Kat. Kat would say something like, "You're wrong, but more power to you."
Yeah. And yet, ironically, if it's Kat here that thinks differently to us.
Yeah. I can't mirror her fully, or else she'll hurt me.
Yeah. And Ryan, again, he just feels a bit tacked on. I mean...
If anyone feels tacked on, oddly enough, it's Yaz.
Yeah, well, that's not...
But at least Graham and Ryan have their share to pain.
Yaz being tacked on, feeling tacked on is nothing new. I mean, that's been a major problem with Yaz for most of the series.
There's been some speculation on some of my Discord channels I've been in who related that Yaz was made up to give a companion who could be in part of the partition episode to have stakes in it, and then filled in after the fact, backwards in the other episodes.
Oh, if that's true, that's the wrong way to go about it.
Absolutely the wrong way to go about it.
That's the wrong way to go about it.
That's only speculation.
No, I appreciate it's nothing official, but if that turns out to be real, man, I'm alive. That explains a lot.
Yeah. It's just people trying to make sense of what was put on screen.
I mean, Ryan gets more to do than Yaz. Ryan gets his major action tied in with his granddad.
Of which we'll talk a great deal in a moment.
Yeah, we're going to get to Graham O'Brien in just a few short moments, because he really is once again the highlight for me.
Which, I mean,
whole thing.
Graham is definitely, I don't know if he's my favorite, but he's the one that gets the most stuff and the biggest arc bits, which it feels a little off-putting that we have a Pakistani companion, a black companion, a female doctor, and the Pakistani companion's female too, and we're still focusing on the old white guy the most.
Oh, come on.
It's just a little...
It's not the fact he's an old white guy. He just has to be the best written of the 3 companions.
Yeah, but you know, you're just... It's just a thing you're thinking in the back of your head at times.
Yeah. I will admit it's somewhat ironic.
Yeah.
But let's talk about him now then, shall we? Because I have a major problem with the way Graham's depicted in this episode.
It's bad. It's bad.
I have ranted about this on Discord to you, and I think you agreed with me for the most part. So it's this whole thing that they arrive on the planet, they find out that, lo and behold, Tim Shaw is behind it all, and Graham's demeanour changes, and that's not the bit that's bad, because, you know, he killed his wife or caused his wife to get killed. You can absolutely understand Graham's demeanour changing. And he says to the doctor, you know, I want to kill him. Yeah. We didn't do the job right last time. I want to finish him off. I want to kill him. The doctor turns around to him and says, if you do that, you can no longer travel in my TARDIS. That's okay. And then she says, if you kill him, you're just as bad as him. Excuse me, what? I mean, not to sound like drill here, but those two things are not the same.
There's actually no difference between killing Tim Shaw and destroying 5 planets. You imbecile! You fucking idiot!
Let's just dissect that for a minute. If you kill Tim Shaw, this alien who was a trophy hunter, who has concocted this alien super weapon of death that's going to wipe out the Earth in the year 5425 or whatever it is, if you take one alien's life, you're as bad as him. I'm sorry, but fuck off.
Woman who never would. It's not even, yeah, but like you said, that's the step too far. She said, then you'll never travel in my TARDIS again. Or, you're better than this, Graham. Don't do it. And like stuff like that. You don't understand that, but if you kill him, you're just as bad as him.
That would have been fine. If, if you do this, you can't travel again because of what you've done. That's fine. That's understandable.
It's milquetoast centralist bullshit.
Even I have got a problem with it.
This is how bad this is.
When the resident centralist is saying this is ridiculous, you have a problem.
This is not a thing you can both sides. It's not equivalent in the least.
No, you can maybe shades of grey it, but you can't both sides it. You can certainly say, Graham would be wrong to kill Tim Shaw.
Or the Doctor would be justified in being mad at him for doing so.
Absolutely, but to take it the whole way and say you're just as bad as the genocide. I can't even think of the word.
Genocide.
The genocide perpetrating alien. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, where does this arc go? I'm going to kill Tim Shaw. No, that's bad, Graham. You're better than that. Hi, I'm Tim Shaw. I'm going to kill you now. Do it. No, I'm better than that. There you go.
Doesn't he at one point basically go with the Doctor into trying to kill him?
Probably.
Oh no, it's Graham. It's Graham. He goes into trying to kill him. When he's at the end, when he's got the gun.
Okay, but for all this is just, it's more, I keep mentioning it. It's basically, and I thought we were over this, it's basically more man pain over Grace's death and all. Like, I'm going to get the guy who took away my woman and made me feel sad. And then he, gets over it and all that and doesn't do it. And he's the bigger man. That's his arc. I
didn't have a problem with him saying, I'm gonna get the guy that killed my wife. That's logical.
It's human.
Wanting to kill someone is not a crime.
Yeah.
It's actually doing it that's the evil part.
Yeah. I mean, we've had flawed characters in Doctor Who before. Look at Clara. I love Clara, but she's a hot mess.
Speaking from a writer's perspective, flawed characters are the best to write.
Oh, yeah.
It's not fun to write just a goody two-shoes or just a big bad evil guy with no nuance to him.
I mean, I've written some fun, flawed characters in the past, as you can attest to.
Yes.
So I know what it's like in this sort. I'm no Chris Chibnall. I don't have a major goddamn show, but I'm like...
Bradley Walsh did mention that he single-handedly saved the episode with one line.
Yippee-ki-yay, robots.
Yippee-ki-yay, robots!
Now, I will say that for all I'm complaining about this whole silly arc of, I'm going to kill you, no I'm not, I did love the part where he shot him in the foot, and he's like, I just shot him in the foot to shut him up.
Don't tell the
dog. Okay, that was funny.
Yes.
Again, that little bit of humor to it was fun.
Just in the foot, just to shut him up, please don't tell the dog.
And then they sentence him to life, which... I mean, I don't know. I don't know about this.
I kind of like that, because he wanted immortality, and now he's got it.
All right.
In the shittiest way.
I'll say this for the people at home. Rainiac knows, but I've been going through the Russell T Davies era because I bought the DVD set. And yesterday I watched The Family of Blood, that classic, amazing episode. David Tennant in it. And the end where he was being kind?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to read that as, oh, okay, he's the bigger man. You're supposed to read that as, holy shit, you're a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
And it's not that different from what they do here. It's like, oh, want to live forever? Here you go, fucko.
That's the first glimpse in The Family of Blood of the Time Lord Victorious.
Well, I'd argue there was some of it elsewhere.
And it's terrifying in all the best ways.
Oh, yeah. But it's not, you don't look at it and go, yes, that was absolutely the right moral thing for the 10th Doctor to do.
No. I don't like the fact that they put Tim Shaw in stasis because it was the right thing to do. I like the fact that they put him in stasis because it's poetic justice.
I guess.
If you think back to what he said about what happened to the trophies in The Woman Who Fell to Earth, he said, they're trapped on the cusp between life and death.
Yeah.
And she says how completely obscene. So now he's been subjected to what he put his victims through.
Well, it is in the same. It is kind of like that situation from 2007. I feel. And, well, if they were going to do that, I don't know. You can argue, yeah, they're flawed characters and they're doing something that they think is a moral high ground. I don't know. I'm seeing more nuance in the episode than I think actually exists in debating this.
Yeah. And there was another major character introduced in this episode, and yeah, I'm talking about Paltraki, aka the walking plot device.
Oh, you mean gradual exposition on legs?
Yeah, basically.
That's really his function. He's got amnesia because of the whole weird psychic aura thing on Ranskoor of Kolos.
Yeah, that was almost right, actually. Well done.
So yeah, and he's got like short-term memory loss or something, which is really cool when you hear him like do that. Which is that's an element that we'll come back to. I'm sure
he's been given short-term memory loss because the planet has attacked him mentally.
Yeah,
which again is a really neat little concept that just isn't given enough expansion.
Should we get on that now, or
what? Well, no. We got more to talk about Paltraki.
Okay.
So I like Mark Addy's portrayal of him, but he was just there to provide exposition at timed intervals mostly.
That's basically
and to save Graham and Ryan from two of the robots. He got his heroic moment at least.
There you go. Good on him.
Yeah, and I'm coming at this from the perspective of a writer. Amnesia is a very, very popular plot device for fiction writers.
And it's not even new to Doctor Who. Count how many goddamn times the spin-off books during the 8th Doctor era, back when the show wasn't on the air. How many of those frigging books and audios and shit gave the 8th Doctor amnesia?
I mean, just think back to Peter Capaldi's era. Mm-hmm. In Deep Breath, he has amnesia. In Hellbent, he has induced amnesia.
God almighty.
And I'm sure there are other examples I can think of, but it's a very popular device for fiction writers, and you can see why, because it adds mystery to proceedings immediately, and mystery keeps your readers or your viewers engaged, or at least it does in theory.
Oh, hey, the Family of Blood two-parter, technically.
Yeah, but that's done in a bit of a different way, in a better way, if I may say so.
Oh yeah.
But there's two layers. There's two layers to amnesia in fiction. You've got what the character has forgotten, and you have the reason why they've forgotten it. Mm-hmm. And in Paltraki, why he's forgotten it is answered almost immediately, and it makes it pointless.
You got me there. Yeah,
you've got no chance to build up some kind of mystery with this guy because it's solved as soon as you beat him.
The mystery is what's happening on this crazy planet.
Yeah. And what has the character forgotten? Well, that's gradually told. That's gradually told through his own. I mean, if you're going to do what the mystery of the planet is, you could have, have the Doctor and company explore and discover it as the episode goes, which they kind of do anyway. But then Paltraki's like, "Oh, I remember." They have Paltraki and they have the female Ux woman, and a Neo. And
yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah, I was about to say Anodyne, but yeah, and a Neo. I think it's an anagram of her name, but and a Neo. They just tell the Doctor what's going on, and it's tell not show.
There you go. That's the rule. You shouldn't.
The rule is show not tell, and he flips it on its head.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know it sounds like I'm shitting on Chris Chibnall here. I don't want to.
I mean, that's just it. This episode is so okay, but it's okay. Like I said, in ways that are just it's competently made. When you actually poke at it and say, I'm talking about the elements, it's like, oh, wasn't that great, and that wasn't that great, and that wasn't that great.
Yeah. But at long last, we do figure out the mystery of the planet. Well, to a point, anyway. And it turns out it's these psychic aliens called the Ux, who are religious fanatics.
And they make shit with their minds or something.
Yeah, they are basically depicted as religious zealots.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, zealots don't have to be religious, but certainly zealots, or certainly, and I've said it again, Anodyne, and in Neo certainly is. The other one, who I can't even remember his name, he was that memorable. The other one...
The boy one.
The male one, yeah. The other one, he's a bit more sceptical. Unfortunately for him, Aunt Neo's completely taken in by the idea that Tim Shaw is the creator, so much so that she has absolutely no hesitation to rig him up to a sort of device that drains his strength.
Wild.
And presumably will kill him if they use him too much.
God works in mysterious ways.
She even says that to him.
Oh, good
or a version of it. You know, because we couldn't pack any more. We couldn't pack. We need one more cliche in there. And you got religious imagery, of course, as well. When he's up there, it's almost like he's being crucified. His arms are out in like a T pose.
I've seen some comments on that to the effect of, "For fuck's sakes, a literal stained glass cross."
Basically. I mean, if you're going to do imagery, you can't really afford it to be subtle, except you can, but apparently Chibnall can't afford it to be subtle. But we come to the big resolution of this episode, and it's twofold. You have the Doctor confronting Tim Shaw about his plan to turn the Ux shrine into a weapon of mass destruction, and you have Graham and Ryan holding off the robots and preparing for a showdown with Tim Shaw, who duly obliges when he pulls off the wires off him and just goes through into the door where Graham just happens to be.
Mm-hmm. It's a thing for sure.
So the Doctor doesn't get a big showdown with him and thwarts him. It's Graham.
Yep.
And I don't really have a problem with it being Graham because, you know, he has personal stakes in this. He lost his wife. Ryan lost his grandmother because of this asshole. The Doctor didn't really lose anything apart from Grace. But she hadn't had the connection to her that Ryan and Graham have. And then she comes up with this great plan, and I'm saying that totally not sarcastically, great plan. She comes up with this great plan, and she sort of ums and ahs and says, you know, well, I can't do anything about this. It's over, and then, but this might work. So she takes the memory inhibitors, the brainwave inhibitors, off her and Yaz. I forgot to mention that, by the way. They've got these sort of neural transmitters to stop the planet's atmosphere affecting their memories.
That psychic attack shit.
Yeah, which I like that. So she takes hers and Yaz's off. She sonics it, and now it's a neural blocker. And at this point, the two Ux are on the cross thing, and they are now fully gone. They are now fully transmitting, or whatever it is, to turn the shrine into the weapon and to attack era 5425, whatever it is, Earth. And the great idea is to put the neural blockers on the Ux to stop the signal. And here's where Chibnall really misses a trick, because he could have done some really cool things with the planet attacking Yaz and the Doctor's minds. We could have had some hallucinations. We could have had a sort of a dream sequence.
We could have had anything.
We could have had some kind of effect of some description. Instead of the actors just holding their temple and going, that hurts a bit.
There's nothing.
That's smart.
There's nothing.
That's really
There's
smart.
There's literally no stakes at all.
Well, there could have been. There could have been.
That's just it. But
and then when they've finally taken down the signal and the Ux are no longer transmitting, she takes them back off the Ux, and there's no consequence. Except maybe a headache or two. But then she's still got the problem of the planets in the crystals, which she finally figures out what they are. These mysterious objects that have been carted around, and how Trekkie had one for some reason.
Hey, when we were doing the Twitch Doctor Who marathon, you ever seen a story called The Pirate Planet with Tom Baker?
Yes.
You remember the plot of that episode?
No.
There were pirates, and they were shrinking down planets for minerals.
Oh my god, you're right. You've just reminded me of it.
Ripped off Douglas Adams.
Well, he ripped him off. He ripped Russell T Davies off. He ripped off a lot of people.
You get ripped off, and you get ripped off.
No. We are not Oprah Winfrey, Jerry. You are not Oprah Winfrey.
Even though I try to be.
We're not kidding. There are worse people you could aspire to be, in fairness.
That's true.
But another problem I have is that the grand plan is that she's going to hook one of the Uks up to the psychic connector in the TARDIS.
Telepathic circuits.
The telepathic circuit, thank you. And they're going to have Andinio, whatever her name is, outside, boosting the signal. And okay, that's fine as resolution goes, but it's pretty clear to me that the Uks are dead after this is over. They should be dead, because the young guy's getting electrocuted, for God's sakes. Andinio's mind looks like it's actually burning up, and they both collapse, and then next scene, no, they're fine.
I mean, yeah, that could be the material cost of the episode. The Uks save the day and right their wrongs, but they die in the process. Of basic. And
wipe out a species. There you are. We've just saved the episode.
There you go.
We've just given it some actual goddamn consequences. Instead of which, no, everybody lives. Well, apart from the poor girl that was frozen to death and never mentioned again. You want to talk about fridging? That's a fridging, quite literally.
Oh my god.
It's just like, don't tell him anything. No! Ah! And that's it.
Yep.
She got paid for that.
God almighty.
She got a credit for that. Right?
I hope they paid her well.
The poor guy that got murdered in Teams of the Punjab didn't appear in the end credits.
Oh my god.
She did. And another thing about the plan to transport the planets back to where they should be. What happened to the one on the floor? Was that just left alone?
I would assume it wished back too.
The one she'd been packing around on her back for half the episode, and she'd attached grenades to it.
I mean, I would assume it went back too.
I guess.
Guess so.
I can buy it was just a simple oversight. God, this is really depressing, me talking about this now.
I know, it's like, this is one of those episodes. I used to liken bad Moffat episodes to this. They work in the moment, and you're like, it's a fun ride. Then you start thinking about it, and it's like, wait,
when you dissect
that doesn't make sense.
That
doesn't make sense. And that doesn't make sense, and that's not handled well, and that's not handled well. Wow, actually, this wasn't very good.
That's not good. That's not good at all. You already gave your overall thoughts. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. The BBC managed to spoil themselves again. They've been doing so well. And this maybe is why it didn't feel like a finale with actual stakes, because they'd already put out a press release for the New Year's episode. At the time, it was unnamed. It has now been given a name, which we'll get to when we get to the next episode. But in that press release, it made pretty clear that Yaz, Ryan, and Graham were still with the Doctor.
There's no sense of, they're going to go out in a blaze of glory.
So because of that, there was no real anticipation that Graham would do something with Tim Shaw and stop travelling with the Doctor. There was no sense that one of them might die in a shocking moment.
I mean, the episode wasn't even building up to that anyway.
No, it wasn't. But they'd been so good, the BBC, with keeping things like that secret. And even though it was completely underwhelming, they even managed to keep Tim Shaw's return a surprise. And then they go ahead and do something stupid like this.
Oh, boy.
I said surprise. I didn't say it had to be a good one. I just said surprise.
That's true.
So you gave your overall thoughts at the start, but I'll give my overall thoughts now. So what you said about, just watching it live, it was fine, yeah. And then once you sat down to dissect it, you thought, oh, actually, this really doesn't hold up. If this had just been a regular episode of the show, I might have thought more favourably of it. But it wasn't. It was a series finale, and it just doesn't work for me as a series finale. The Uggs are an interesting concept on paper, but Chibnall doesn't do a huge amount with them. Tim Shaw's return was predictable, but at least it gave us something of a story arc. And having said that, we didn't have any mention of the Timeless Child now I think about it.
No.
I'm guessing we'll return to that for Series 12, or we'll just forget that ever existed.
Well, we got time. We got time.
The Timeless Child will end up being this era's Gus. Mark my words.
Justice for the Timeless Child.
That's quite long to fit on a hashtag, but yes. And honestly, I think when you compare it to previous series finales, this is one of the weaker ones. I think the Wedding of River Song is weaker.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's a mess.
At least the Wedding of River Song is gonzo as hell.
I think the Name of the Doctor is not weak. It's weaker compared to some of the bombastic two-part finales that we've had in both the Moffat and Davies eras, but Time of the Doctor is pretty good. Sorry, not Time of the Doctor, damn it.
Name?
This is the hit their fault for having 3 episodes with similar titles.
Thanks, Moffat.
The Name of the Doctor is fine, and you have that amazing moment where John Hurt turns up at the end,
which had us all going, "What the fuck?"
And the Impossible Girl ending, and an arc actually being fulfilled to mostly satisfaction, even if it is a bit gonzo. But it actually gives an explanation for that happening.
But look, I mean, you can disagree with this stuff working, all the weird shit that Moffat throws against the wall, but at least he's throwing interesting shit against the wall.
I actually think, with the exception of the Wedding of River Song, he stuck the landing on all of his season finales.
I haven't seen Wedding of River Song in a long time, so I can't really comment.
Oh boy!
In my memory, it's just a melange of weird and wild nonsense.
It's a mess, and it's a cop-out at the end.
Well, it was always going to be.
The whole bizarre, the Doctor has to die then. No, he doesn't have to die. He can just be in a robot suit. What?
Well, look, they set up a bunch of cop-outs for that in Series 6. It was either going to be Gangers, Tesla.
It didn't say a replica of the Doctor has to die on that beach. It said the Doctor has to die on that beach, full stop.
Hey, it looked like he died and he was the timey-wimey, I don't fucking know. Moffat,
yeah. Not his finest hour, but...
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was alright.
Yeah. I mean, there are finer, I will defend. Hellbent.
Yes, Hellbent is a masterpiece.
Yes.
Well, Heaven Sent is an even bigger masterpiece, but Hellbent's a masterpiece.
I like Hellbent a little better because...
I know, because I nearly fired you from the show for that.
Because I'm biased against Clara.
I nearly fired you from the show for that, if you remember. I was joking. I was joking at the time. Or was I? No, I was joking.
No.
No, honestly,
yeah.
my overall thoughts are it's a complete chaotic, incomprehensible mess. But that's enough about Brexit.
Yeah, you're joking. You're laughing, but you get to check the results of all the leadership elections.
As we're recording this, the future of the country is being decided in a leadership contest vote. Or a vote of no confidence.
And you're sitting here talking about mediocre.
And I don't know what the result of that is because I've chosen to talk with Freezing Inferno about a pretty mediocre episode of Doctor Who. Clearly, I have my priorities in life all straightened out.
God.
So, next time then, well, I say next time, no Christmas episode, New Year's Day episode.
It'll be fine. I've got my Capaldi Blu-rays and on.
It's called this one's called Resolution. Yes. Obvious title is obvious.
How much quid do you want to put on whether or not Chibnall actually resolves it?
Nothing, because I like not being broke.
Wise. Very wise.
You can't predict Chibnall anymore. I mean, everyone was like, last week it's like, something big is returning. I know that voice. It must be the Daleks. No, Tim Shaw. I did tell people not to get their hopes up. I warned you. I warned you about getting excited, folks.
I told you about getting your hopes up. I warned you, dog.
I warned you about stairs.
It keeps happening.
In my case, I warned you about ladders because I managed to kick the bloody thing, getting the tree up in the tree box in the loft, and I got a bruise on my leg the size of a duck egg.
Good God.
Thank you, Christmas.
Hectic. I just ordered online.
Season of Goodwill, my ass. Anyway, yeah, resolution. Did you see the Next Time trailer?
It was basically just, I'm the doctor, and I'm not going to let you do it.
Yeah, basically, that's it.
That's it.
I'm the doctor and you're not going to kill anyone. Now, there have been some details released about this. There was a TV teaser immediately after the episode aired in the UK.
Didn't see that.
That didn't show the monster either.
There is speculation of what it is. I heard... Repeat.
Yeah, the speculation is it's the Daleks.
Okay, you repeated it. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Well, you kind of cut out, but it's okay. We'll keep going. But if it is just the Daleks, why not reveal them already? This was the perfect moment to tease them. And by the way, I don't know if the Nation of State deal has changed, but they weren't used at all this series.
Yeah, no Daleks in 2018.
It depends. Actually, my parents made a really good point about this to me. Is it when the episodes air, or is it when they're filmed?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because if it's when they're filmed and they are in resolution, then they get around it.
I guess that is true. Like, they can prove from a production standpoint, if the Daleks are in this episode, it was all in the right.
But as far back as Series 3, they were doing effective teasers with the Daleks. If you think back to the trailer at the end of, I think it's The Runaway Bride.
Yeah, they were in there.
And they show a 2-second clip of a Dalek where the Doctor goes, they always survive while I lose everything. That's how you hype them up.
There you go.
That's how you do it. You could have just shown the light of an eye stalk. Mm-hmm. Something, anything. But he chose not to.
And it might not even be the Daleks.
It might not. The pre-broadcast material claims as the new year begins, a terrifying evil is stirring from across the centuries of Earth's history. We do see a bit of that in the TV trailer. It's like various battlefields from like 9th century barbarians, and then there's like modern day soldiers shooting at something off screen.
It's the War Games!
It could. It almost sounds to me like it could be an adaptation of the novel I Am a Dalek.
What the hell is that book?
That was an old story about Dalek DNA getting into a little girl.
Dalek DNA. Oh God.
Yeah.
I am a human Dalek.
No, I don't think there was any of that. I think she was just literally turning into a Dalek.
Wild.
It's been a long time since I read up about it, but I hope it's not that. No, that story wasn't particularly, it wasn't particularly awful, but let's have something different and original. Mike, having said that, Family of Blood, and Human Nature were actually adaptations of a book, and they were bloody amazing.
Oh yeah.
So maybe they can make it work.
Well, to be fair, it was by the same guy.
Yeah, true. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah! Hope this episode on New Year's is good.
It had better be spectacular, because it's all we're getting for a year.
Yeah, we're doing another year with most Doctor Who.
There isn't even talk of a Christmas special in 2019.
Which is real funny, because, Moffat only did Twice Upon a Time because it was like, oh, Chibnall doesn't want to do one, and we need to keep the tradition alive. And then Chibnall comes on and it's like, no Christmas special, New Year's.
I'm in two minds over this. On the one hand, if this leads to more quality over quantity, it's a good thing.
But let's be real here. We already lost our quantity.
True.
We went from 13 to 12 to 10.
Yeah, you're right. But you do get what I'm saying. If there's more time to make the episodes, there's more time to make them better.
It's not the making that's the problem, it's the writing.
Oh, right, the writing. Fine then, Mr. Pedante. There's more time to craft better episodes.
That's better.
But having said that, and there have been much longer pauses in Doctor Who history than this, but it's going to suck waiting a whole year to watch something new.
We can't really complain. Someone from 1991 Doctor Who slap us upside the head.
Yes. No, we can't complain. I'm absolutely going to. What are you talking about? No, you're right. 16 years for a new TV serial, and what was it, 7 years before the film came out?
They waited 7 years for they got a fucking TV movie.
Well, at least they got something.
I'm amazed they stayed Doctor Who fans after that shit.
Big Finish are going to need to step into the plate to fill that void.
Oh, boy.
I mean, we haven't even got a TV spin-off in that time to enjoy, like something with the Paternoster Gang or the Adventures of Missy or...
Well, we got plenty of classic Who coming out on Blu-ray.
We have got the Adventures of Missy or whatever it's called coming out on Big Finish. That's going to be awesome.
It'll be nice, I guess. Big Finish is okay.
But for all the Big Finish is good, it's still not the TV show.
And yeah, that's in the end, it can only play second to the TV show.
Yeah,
as good as it is,
it needs to be on a screen. But yeah, we don't know too much about Resolution. Here's hoping it's fantastic, because it's going to need to be to give us a send off into a year of wilderness.
We'll survive. Maybe I'll revive classic Who reviews again.
You may have to.
I may have to. I keep saying I will, like every year.
I think we'll also come back and do a Series 11 retrospective. Hopefully that won't be too depressing for us.
Well, here's the thing. I gave you my overall thoughts on the season at the start of the episode on initial watch. I know Space's channel here in Canada is doing a marathon of all of Series 11 before Resolution, so I'll probably throw some of that on just to catch some of the episodes again.
Okay.
Because I really haven't gone through any of the episodes twice. I only watched these once for viewing. I don't know if you...
This is the first time I've tried not to watch them more than once. With the exception it takes you away where I need it just to get my head around it.
Yeah, because I label my things first impressions, my text reviews. On
my blog, sorry, I tell a lie. I might have watched parts of The Witchfires again just to have a laugh over Kim James I's accent.
God. Yeah. So,
so we will see you again, and hopefully Kat will be with us again. She couldn't make it, which again is probably why this doesn't feel like... It's kind of fitting in a way. It doesn't feel like a series finale of the show. It doesn't feel like a series finale of this podcast. But it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you in 3 weeks when hopefully we get the gang all back together to review Resolution, for better or for worse.
Have a happy holiday. I'll see you in 2019.
Yeah, until that moment, all that remains to be said, it's even affecting my speech now, damn you Brexit. All that remains to be said is that I've been your host, Rain. Thank you to Freezing Inferno for joining me for this. Thank you to you, the audience, for watching us for the past 10 weeks. We hope we've entertained you and not annoyed you too much. We hope we stimulated some sort of debate. And we will see you after the new year for Resolution. Until then, bye for now, and Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
David Cameron fucked an entire country.
Yes, he did.